Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Conversations and Connections, the official podcast of the Family Crisis Center of East Texas. Stuart Burson with you. I am the prevention coordinator for the agency and host of the podcast. A lot of different things are going on right now at the Family Crisis Center, several different drives, and we also have our annual Passion for Purple luncheon is on the distant horizon. And so I thought this might be a good time to bring back Mallory Harris. Mallory is our marketing and communications coordinator for the agency to kind of let's talk about the different agencies, the different drives that we have going on. And of course, again, I know we are looking for sponsorships for our upcoming Passion for Purple luncheon. So without further ado, here's marketing and communications coordinator Mallory Harris. Mallory, I tell you what, every time I go to admin to visit you, you are always busy doing something.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like, like I have a busy time of the year and kind of a slow time of the year. And it seems like you're always working on something. It seems like right now you're knee deep in so many things.
Yes, you'd think that. I was thinking that, I don't know why I was thinking that the summer maybe would be a little bit slower because no really awareness months that are directly correlated with us during the summer. But no, I'm still just as busy, working on Passion for Purple, the various drives that are going on,
Yeah, well, even just working on social media stuff, I'm sure takes a lot of times because and you got the newsletter you always are working on. You posting stuff to Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, and I do all the donations with the thrift stores, admin, Safe House.
Yeah.
I keep track of those, and
yeah.
Yeah, and I know there's something big slipping my mind, but anyway.
I think a lot of times people, when I've been working with you for a while now, and I always draw a blank when it comes to your title.
Marketing and Communications Coordinator.
Marketing and Communications Coordinator. And I've had people ask me, well, what does that mean? What does she do? And it's like, and it's kind of hard to describe, because you can't just say, well, if you just say, well, she makes sure our Facebook is updated. Well, My God, how long does that take?
Yeah, some of the tasks are big, time-consuming tasks, but there's a whole lot of little bitty stuff that you don't really just throw into conversation, but there's just a lot of little things that you have to remember.
Well, and I do want to give kudos to you. About a month ago, we did the cupcake battle at the Blueberry Festival, and you really did. I mean, you spearheaded that project this year, and you just really, I think everything went off well. You did a fantastic job.
Oh, well, thank you, Stuart.
Well, of course. It's always and I'm not just saying that because you're in here with me right now. It is always a pleasure. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to get you on here is that it seems like we just have a lot of little things kind of going on right now, and of course, and a big thing that we're going to be looking at in the future. But right now, I know we have several drives that we're working on, and that's happening right now. And I guess the first thing we'll talk about the school supply drive. When we're recording this is kind of the middle of July, so back to school, believe it or not, is just a few weeks away before all the kids are going back to school. And we always have our annual school supply drive. And one of the things I want to ask you about is that what are we exactly? Who is this for?
Our school supply drive, it's for clients that are in our Safe House, like their children that are staying in the emergency shelter, at the beginning of the school year. And really, the other day, Whitney and I were having a conversation, and this was something that hadn't crossed my mind, and it should have. I try not to be so black and white, but sometimes I just don't think of the other things, and I have to talk it through with somebody. But Whitney was like, well, really, school supplies can be collected all year long. Like, we don't necessarily have to run a drive all year, but at any point during the school year, a client could come in and their child has to move schools because they're escaping, a dangerous situation and escaping their abuser. And that requires them to move homes or move into an emergency shelter. And then suddenly they also have to go to a new school. Well, all their school supplies are, with the other school, or they don't have them, or, so anyway, that had never even occurred to me. So collecting, and that obviously that's very reasonable, but it's just things you don't necessarily think about when you're not always in direct client service. And so anyway, but yeah, the school supplies are for client children that are staying in the safe house, or maybe even some outreach. I'm not sure, but yes, definitely clients in the emergency shelter at the time that school starts, and then we keep a stock of them on hand for, other kids that come in and need some things.
So I guess it's kind of safe to assume the things that we're looking for is what any school supply drive is looking for.
Yeah,
right?
Of course, like backpacks, colored pencils, scissors, index cards, markers, just all the things that any regular school supply list, they're all pretty much the same. You might can look up like Lufkin ISD's like school supply list, and it's going to be pretty uniform across the schools. But
sure.
But yeah, just like the reusable water bottles, the spiral notebooks, just anything that is like normal school supplies that you would expect, like when you go in the front section of Walmart and it's close to school time. Of course, it's not always like this, but they'll have everything at the front, and they may even have lists for you. So anyway, but you can always check our Facebook or check our website, and we do have that list on there as well.
So the list can be found on the website or on our Facebook page. And if anybody wants to make a donate, what do they need to do? How do they get these donations to us?
You can bring them to our admin office if you would like, or any of our outer county offices, the San Augustine, the Crockett office, Nacogdoches, any of the other offices. Just call ahead for those outer county ones. We may not always have staff in office, but we can definitely schedule a time for you to be able to come in, or you're definitely welcome to try to come by, but just try to call ahead if you can.
It's interesting, water bottles being on a school supply list.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how it was. I'm probably about twice your age, but I remember when I was going to school, I don't think we couldn't bring a water bottle to the classroom. We had to get up and get a drink of water if we wanted to drink a drink of water.
Yeah, they don't want the kids getting up a whole lot during class. I know they have my daughter always get one, and she always loses it. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, well, besides the school supply drive, we are also let's kind of turn to our food pantry. We also have a food drive going on, and I guess it costs a lot to feed these families. And I get, especially, if all of the beds in the shelter are occupied, and you got to think, okay, we have what is it, 39 beds.
Facility.
That doesn't mean just 39 people. You got to think of 39 clients. Let's say every client has a couple of kids, so that's a lot of people to feed every week.
Yeah,
and
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks,
Right. So, and I know I've had Rocky, who runs the kitchen on the podcast before. She's told me the grocery bill that we have to pay every month, and it's tremendous the amount of money that goes into feeding these clients. And so it always helps if we can get some donations for our pantry.
Yes, it does. It just helps the I don't know if the burden is the right word for it. We're definitely happy to have, the survivors there, but I just mean the burden of the bill, I guess, of the groceries, is high. It's high on a regular household, and so of course it's really high on a shelter that has so many individuals and kids in it. And so anyway, we are just really grateful to get any food drive donations. We're looking for anything that is like a non-perishable, like unexpired, like goods, canned goods, like green beans, like coffee, creamer, cereal, like canned chicken, crackers, ramen, soups, just, lots of those.
Yeah, anything you'd keep on the shelf and everything. And I think one of the things we do want to make sure we emphasize is, it can't be anything that's expiring because I don't think a lot of people realize with the pantry, it's almost like we're running, I don't know if I want to say a restaurant, but we can't give clients expired things.
Yeah.
Now, look, at my apartment, when I go into the kitchen, if I see something that expired last week, I'm like, I'll go ahead. I'm going to eat it anyway.
Yeah.
But we can't do that, for the clients. So
yeah, no, they have food that is held to high standards. Me, myself, I was sitting there eating expired bacon bits last night. But we're not going to do that up at the agency. So
just the bacon bit.
Oh my gosh, yes. I don't even know, Stuart. There was nothing at my house. So anyway.
So, and again, the shopping list, again, on our Facebook page, I'm assuming. And again, if somebody wants to donate, just come by our administration office, right?
Yeah, that you can get with me. Of course, my name's Mallory Harris. We do still have another Mallory that works at our agency, so just make sure to call in and ask for me. And we also have a Amazon wish list that's with our food drive. And so if you go on our website, there's a link. You go on our website and click the Get Involved area, and you'll see the various drives that are happening. And you can click on that Amazon wish list, and it'll have food items sent directly to the agency. You don't even have to get out and shop. And so, anyway, that's just a really great resource.
Okay, that's good to know. An Amazon wish list specifically for the Family Crisis Center, right?
Yes, for the food drive.
And another interesting thing, we are having a housewares drive, and I've mentioned this before on the podcast. For our thrift stores. And I think a lot of times people, when they think about donating things to the thrift store, they think about their clothing they don't need anymore, clothes the kids have outgrown, and things like that. But I don't know how many people really think about, Whitney worded this perfect one time, garage sale type stuff, knickknacks, and things like that. We're talking about housewares. What exactly would be a houseware?
Really any kitchen items that you use every day, small appliances, like decor, like picture frames, furniture, little collectibles and antiques. I have a lot of friends that are really big into going to the thrift stores and picking up little antique type stuff. Mm-hmm. Decorations, like little old stuff. And so anyway, it's just really any of that kind of stuff we're looking for at the thrift store. And all of the donations at the thrift store, like 100% of the revenue that comes from the thrift store goes directly to agency services. And so it's just really great. And it also fuels like our voucher program where our advocates and other staff give vouchers to our clients. And so they're able to, when they are leaving an abusive situation, they're having to rebuild afterwards, go pick up clothes, go pick up, something. Yeah. It gives them the ability to have this voucher and go in and shop. And so your donations can go directly to a survivor, and they were able to pick that item up, for free, because of that voucher with the agency. And so anyway, it's just really great all around, because it may sound, a little weird, like, oh, please bring all your stuff. Please donate to, our thrift store. And it's like, well, why? You're just selling it. Well, it can also go to the voucher program, and that is, directly benefiting survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault in our community. So anyway, it's just really, really great.
So, in a few years, I say a few years ago, man, it's probably been about maybe 5 years ago now. I got a sweet Keurig coffee machine from the thrift store that I used for years before it finally gave out. So there's no telling what you can find. And so when you're cleaning out the house, when you're decluttering or whatever, try to think beyond just the clothes. Anything that you'd think that you would get rid of in a garage sale or something like that, think about donating it to the thrift store. And again, they can either go to the Lufkin Thrift Store, which is at 206 West White House, just next to Walmart here in Lufkin, and then the Nacogdoches Thrift Store at 3909 North Street. Yeah. And they're next to Atwood's, and they're kind of between Atwood's and the shopping center where the movie theater used to be, and the bowling alley and all that stuff. All right. And also, before we wrap things up, I can't believe it's almost time again for Passion for Purple.
I know.
So if probably everybody who is at least slightly associated with the Family Crisis Center knows what Passion for Purple is. But Mallory, if you would, tell those who may not be familiar with that, what exactly is Passion for Purple?
The Passion for Purple Luncheon, this is our fourth year having it, and it is just a great awareness opportunity. It's a great fundraiser for survivors at the Family Crisis Center. But mainly, really in my head, I think it's a lot of awareness for the community on domestic violence. It's during Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October. Last year we had right at 500, I think it was 501 attendees at Passion for Purple. And we usually have, a really powerful speaker that either they're a survivor themselves, they're a family member of a survivor, or somebody that may have been, killed at the hands of domestic violence. And so, anyway, it's just a really great luncheon. Like, you're fed lunch, you get to be with community, your people, your organization, your company, and you get to come and listen to a really great, it's not like a boring luncheon that you just like, oh, I got to get through this. Like, it's powerful. Like, it's a really good opportunity to come and listen to something so important.
And when is it this year?
It is, it's going to be Thursday, October 8th at 11:30 at the Pitzer Garrison Convention Center.
Now, can we tell who our guest speaker is?
I'm going to very quickly. I haven't yet. I think when we initially put that out, it's going to come out in a press release. We're having a talk with our sponsors from last year first, and but it's going to come out very soon who this year's speaker is.
All right. Well, I know we've had some very exciting speakers in the past, and I know that whoever we have this year is going to be just as impressive. So we are looking. We're still looking for sponsorships.
We are. We're still looking for sponsorships. Some sponsorships, of course, we can have. We can have several different like bronze sponsors, several different silver and gold sponsors, several different speaker sponsors. But there's certain sponsorship levels that there's only one available. And so like the raffle sponsor, we've already had Kickback has decided to sponsor our raffle this year. And then our photo booth, Flournoy and Flournoy has decided to sponsor that this year. And so I'm really excited about that. And Flournoy is really dear to my heart. And so anyway, yes, we're still looking for sponsors. We do have East Texas Communities Foundation has committed to being a bronze sponsor this year. Trey Henderson is a lilac sponsor. I think IT Enabled is going to donate another door prize this year. So even if you wanted to do something smaller, you can donate a door prize or a raffle prize, and you don't have to commit to a sponsorship. But yes, we still have several spots open. We even have our presenting sponsor spot still open at this time. And if you are the presenting sponsor, you have press from the time that I put this out, from the time that we announce the speaker. And so that's the reason why we're trying to see if we possibly get, a presenting sponsor before we put out who our speaker is. And so anyway, but yeah, we do still have several spots open, and I'm just looking forward to getting to talk with people. And
so did I understand you rightly? Are we still looking for door prizes, raffle items as well?
Yes, we are still looking for door prizes, raffle items. We still need a donation drive sponsor, a printing sponsor. If we get a presenting sponsor, that would be so awesome. A meet and greet sponsor. So anyway, it's still a little early, but whenever you do commit to being a sponsor early, you get all of the publicity from the start. Like from the time that I start putting out all of the details about this, your logo's on everything that goes on social media. Your name is in our press release that goes out to the media. So it's really great if you think you're going to commit to go ahead and commit early. But
yeah. Anyway. And anybody who's interested in Passion for Purple, it's a little too early. We're not selling tickets yet.
Not quite yet.
We are still looking for sponsors. If somebody's interested in being a sponsor, I guess they get a hold of you as well, right?
Yes, if you will. If you'll get a hold of me at the agency, I will be able to help.
All right. And I meant to ask you before we wrap things up, all of these drives, we got the school supply drive, the housewares drive, the food drive. Is there a deadline that people need to get this stuff in by? Or I guess, how long are these drives going on? Now, I know I keep yapping about all of this. I do want to emphasize that we never have a cutoff. If you ever want to donate something to the food pantry or a school supply or to the thrift store, of course, you can do that year round. But this push that we're doing now, is there
exactly. It's kind of like year round, but if possible, if we could get some more school supplies in by August 3rd, that would. It would be great, but like I said, we're able to take school supplies all year because of the survivors that, come in the middle of the year and may have to move schools. We're able to take food donations all year, but we are trying to get, some more food donations by Friday, August 28th, if possible. And housewares, we haven't had a deadline on that, but just, of course, we're taking, donations at the thrift store year round. So it's kind of the same thing. So
I wanted to make sure I worded that correctly, is that we're going to cut off accepting anything, and we're never going to do that.
Yeah.
I guess the thing with the school supply drive, school's starting up, I think here in Lufkin on the 12th. I just printed out the school calendar today. So we want to make sure kids, if they are staying at the shelter, they are going to be going to Lufkin ISD, that we do have these school supplies ready for them to take to school on the first day of school.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else going on that we need to make sure we let people know about?
I don't think so. I just wanted to say we're just really grateful for the community for their help and coming in and donating, sponsoring, just these things. If it didn't sound like it enough prior to now in my voice, I just wanted to say, we always appreciate it. It's always really heartwarming to see everybody come in and be so helpful. We're really grateful for the sponsors that have committed already. And so, I just wanted to make sure and note that.
All right. Well, thanks, Mallory, the ever busy Mallory Harris. I bet you didn't think you was going to be on here again so soon.
No, I did not. But I like your new podcast studio, so it's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, always like to close out, if you have any questions or if you have any input about the podcast or anything that we've talked about, you can email us at conversations@fccet.com. And also, always like to remind you of our 24-hour hotline if you need our services. It's 1-800-828-7233. Be sure to find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere, YouTube. Anywhere that you get your podcast, you can find Conversations and Connections. And of course, we always have the links posted on our Facebook page. And but we really would appreciate the subscriptions if you can shoot one of those our way. Remember, be the voice, if not for you, for someone else.